The bottom line is that at the end of the day, it comes down to respect. And a lot of things in this union is disrespectful. What the members want is a union that fights on their behalf. What has happened to our members is wrong. Management wants to control us. Despite our seniority numbers, they always say, do what I tell you to do. But how do they accomplish this? What made them so powerful? Well, the reason why is they have people who are sellouts. These are they who sell their principles to the highest bidder, or in this case, they get release time. They are nothing but sellouts. Charlie Muniz, what you say?
Oh yeah. This union is full of sellouts. One in particular, well, two of them in particular, and I'm going to name names. One is, of course, Linwood Richard.
Yes.
And the other one is Eric Logel from RTO.
Interesting. Yes.
They both ran on different slates, opposing Utano and his crew. And they completely forgot what they were fighting for, and now they side with everything Utano says, everything, So it tells me that these guys, they say everybody has a price. Well, I guess these guys were bought out. They were bought out cheaply too.
Yes.
Yeah, they come real cheap, don't they? Eric's 30 pieces of silver for being a sellout. The regime that he tore up and down was the death of Local 100. Outright racist. This is what he campaigned on. He's now in their lap. And the last time I seen Eric, he was being dragged out of an executive board meeting after his latest unhinged sociopathic episode. And what set him off was having to meet with his fellow executive board members to explain the job cuts we're facing, to explain the attacks we're facing in terms of our pick rights.
Yeah, I understand clearly, because at the end of the day, we got back that said he had almost like a temper tantrum inside of the executive board. He was yelling and screaming, and that was, honestly speaking, that's not becoming of a member. He's supposed to always control himself, and at this particular time, like a baby, he had a temper tantrum. Anthony Staley, what do you say? We got sellouts. We got sellouts in this union.
Hey, listen, that's all this. That's it. That's all we got in the union, man. Listen, the way the union is being ran is not being doing anything for the members, and it's supposed to be for the members. And they work more with management as an extension of management than they do anything when it comes to protecting members and so forth. So yeah, they're a bunch of sellouts. And matter of fact, it's easy to sell out when you're not intelligent enough to know what your job consists of anyway. A lot of these cats don't know what it takes to be a union rep. They don't know how to stand ground on the rules and the principles that in which the union was founded on and was founded as far as being protecting members. That's what they definitely don't do in there. So yeah, they're a bunch of sellouts, and more so I blame it more so lack of intelligence as well.
Kenny,
yes, sir.
I just want to say, look, that I know Charlie Muniz a long time. Okay, me and Charlie go way back, and Charlie Muniz has done more to fight against job cuts than Eric Eddy could ever dream of. Eric is blood on his hands. He's responsible for our members dying. He's responsible for people like Charlie Muniz getting infected unnecessarily because of the lack of effort of this union to shut down unsafe work and to stop those conditions from happening. And Eric Logel, by the way, is his own super spreader event. He went into Sioux Broadway and got other people sick and didn't know. He had some nerve to come after Charlie Muniz. Charlie Muniz fought with me and Anthony Staley and others to stop the closing of station booths, stop the cutting of elevator operator jobs. Dozens and dozens of jobs were stopped. And those jobs were then cut, many of them, because of sellouts like Linwood Richard and Robert Kelly. For him to be talking about, you can't hear?
Your audio
was in the background.
Oh, okay. So for him to be talking about Charlie in such a disrespectful way, first of all, he uses a nickname of yours that relates to your ethnic heritage sound racist to anybody?
Yes.
And this is a person who went into arbitration for RTO where he lost 58 RTO jobs with incompetence with an all-white negotiating team. Sound like a problem for a union that's 70-something% Black and Latino?
Yes,
So,
sir.
call these things for what they are. It's not just that he is incompetent. It's that he's privileged and that he doesn't think that he has to be held accountable by a majority Black and Latino workforce. He has a reckoning coming real quick.
Yeah, let me point out that Eric, if you look at his old Twitter tweets, he's anti-Utano. And for instance, let's look at one right here. Let's see. Utano and his administration have done nothing for women and minorities on this job. All transit workers are treated second class, but women and minorities are particularly neglected and exploited. Utano doesn't care. This is election year concern trolling. What happened, Eric?
So apparently 4 jobs for restricted duty pregnant women is somehow changes everything, right?
Yeah. Also, on August 11th, 2018, here's another tweet by him. The leadership of Local 100 are mostly Cuomo butt kissers and yes men, who are also in bed with MTA management. Many rank and file members like myself know this, and we're trying to change things. What the hell has he changed since he's been in office? How to suck up more to Cuomo? How to suck out more shit out of Cuomo's ass? You know? I mean, he's done nothing. He was one of those people who said that that medical workers, they should get masked before we do. I think there was a video out there, wasn't there?
There was a video, where he was talking to people who later got infected with COVID, like Sujata Gidla, who he told said that they were selfish to ask for masks because we'd be taking them away from doctors and nurses. If you're a healthy person, you don't need a mask. How does that look in retrospect there, Eric? Where's the apology?
But also, this is the sorriest part about this whole thing. All these people that get up there in the union, right? All of a sudden they get this mentality that they turn against the workers. But it also shows what you really think of your job. You see, if you're embarrassed about your job, then maybe you shouldn't have that job, because they fight so hard not to get kicked back to the road, you know, like they are scared to go back to their tools. I probably don't let them mind when we had that big issue in which Roger was trying to make me sign some papers to turn over to labor relations against a member when we had a fight at the Union Hall. And they gave me an ultimatum. They said if the paperwork wasn't done by 3 o'clock, I was going back to the road. When they came back there at 3 o'clock, I looked them right in the face. I guess I'm going back to the road. And I took my ass back to the road. But I was not going to act like, you know, these guys act like they're embarrassed. You've been a conductor or whatever you've been all of this time, and you telling me you're not proud of your position to the point where you'll do anything, even sell out your fellow people in your own department just to stay in the hall? Really?
Yeah.
That is the sorriest, most gutless thing a person could do.
What's amazing is that John posted Eric trying to become a I guess supervisor, TSS,
transit service supervisor. He wants.
Yeah, and yet he took the test to become a TSS, but he's supposed to be representing RTO. Well, so in other words, once he so
he tries to make it seem like it's better that he took the test in 2017 when he was running for vice president of the union. So apparently that makes it okay. You ever heard of having 1 foot in one boat and 1 foot in the other, just trying to see who goes faster? Then another thing I want to bring up is, think about this man talking down to and lecturing Charlie Muniz about what it means to be a union man, a union officer, what it means to be loyal to the union. This is a man who has repeatedly put out people's medical records about their workers' compensation injuries and acted like a management snitch at the executive in the meeting room where the executive was taking place.
Yep.
He calls me a felon. He calls me a workers' compensation fraud. So, you know, I mean, think about how much veracity you should give to somebody who shovels this kind of shit and doesn't care about the consequences to his fellow members. Couldn't
And
care.
that's a serious charge. That you could spend it from the union, kick out of the union, and held accountable for doing stuff like that.
I'm bringing him up on charges over that. That's kind of
Good, because if Kiev View can be kicked out for, I mean, on trumped up charges, and the guy Dave from buses, if they gonna be kicked out for minor infractions, I mean, why is this clown still leading RTO? He's done nothing, but people can't stand him. He's turned his back on them, and he's an embarrassment. Even the people who supported him are embarrassed by his actions. He's got to go.
Well, he must have to do amazing work. In other words, if you could suck shit out of your tunnel's ass through a straw, then I guess you could stay in there, because you got a hell of a suction, son.
Well, look, this union has opened the door to job cuts. They are cowards. The MTA wants to cut service, but the MTA would be in violation of state and federal law. You cannot cut service without a hearing. But yet all last week, all we were hearing was service cuts, service cuts. Matter of fact, they're supposed to be cutting on the Long Island Railroad tomorrow. Our union is selling the members out. John Ferretti, what do you say?
Yeah.
Go
ahead, Anthony, go ahead.
Okay. I'm glad you brought that up. Hey, you came right down my alley with that. This morning, when I was listening to all the parts of the COVID bill that was signed off on, right? They said out of their mouth, the senators are out their mouth, MTA is getting enough, this is the words they use. The MTA should be very happy. He said, because the money that they're getting is going to prevent all the cuts that they've been claiming that they were going to do, as well as sustain the so-called raise that they were going to snatch from under the workers' feet here. So let's find out who's lying here, or who is just laying down on the job, or who just serving the members up to management. But that's just what it is. Because, like I said, if there's no cuts in the police department, fire department, or none of the other agency, there's no justification for them to take away the raises from the transit authority workers. That unless there's which, like I said, unless there's a bankruptcy as far as the city concerned, or the state, if they're not filing bankruptcy and they're not in a financial difficulty, they cannot stop that raise.
Well, the other thing, Anthony, is that, look, who's going to stop them, right? If you were the MTA, would you be shaking your boots over TWUs and kick
Well,
their
listen,
service?
understand this, John. See, and that's the bad part. And that will a lot of times keeps me from moving forward in certain situations. The members control this. There's a few things members can do. Even contact the Office of Collective Bargaining and stating that our union is not serving the members, and we got enough proof to show it. Because if you go to the Office of Collective Bargaining, right, they're supposed to protect the rights of those that use collective bargaining as their means of their job, with their job security and so forth. And we show them that tell us or make our union prove why are they laying down on the fact that management is trying to take a raise from us, and there's no financial hardship within the city or the state, period. Why we're the only ones that's going to have to lose a raise.
Well, the other thing, though, too, is that they're talking now about filing a lawsuit against the MTA for the service cut. Where the hell were they last year when our members were dying? Where was they? Right. They were. If we performed like that at work, we'd be marked AWOL, right? Well, this is what they are. They're AWOL. This is malpractice on the part of our union leadership. But you know, the other thing too, other than going and it's a what is it, civil service, to pursue a civil service representation, we need to be pursuing a lawsuit against the MTA because they are vulnerable on that. And we have the ear of politicians. We have the ear of community organizers, communities that are directly affected. We need to be making common cause with those people. And I know you guys have, and I know we have. The problem is the missing part of this is the leadership of our union. It's the clown car of union leadership. And they're in bed with the governor. And we got to be against incest. We got to be against the incestuous, rotten, traitorous political alliance that the people who are supposed to be leading us have with those who are killing us.
And
let me point out that when this clown Edie, Eric Logel, some of the things that he wrote, and I'm gonna read it. This clown said that Robert Kelly is 1,000 times the leader and man that I am. Okay, he called me freaking moron. Really? Okay, Robert Kelly was one of the people who took money, who recommended I take money out of the booths. Okay, and now you got the public frustrated and venting and going after the station agents. Okay, the station agents can't get a break, and they're getting cursed out daily, and it's becoming stressful. Okay, not only to the station agent but the public as well. Okay, so that's a leader. Robert Kelly also voted to make top pay from 3 to 5 years. I would have never done that. Okay. Yep. Robert Kelly also recommended. Well, he voted to raise the medical contributions from 1.5% to 2%. Okay, I wouldn't have done that. So there's a couple of things.
Oh, he done knocked himself off.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he done knocked himself off.
Let me just say this though. But first thing, I always wonder why the people with the less bark and the less fight in them are the ones that lead in this union. Your child don't have no history of being in a leadership role and achieving anything for this union. He's there because he's privileged. And he's been there over 30 years. And you in the union 30, 40 years and you don't know how to fight? Get out of here. Then we're running around and we're being led by a paper tiger. But not only that, you also have to be out there on the road to know what your members want and what your members need. You ever see your talent walking along the side of any of the workers or the workforce and speaking with them on a regular basis, whereas he's interacting and finding out what's going on out there on the road?
Let me tell you.
So long as you ain't out here on the road, you don't know a damn thing what's going on with us.
Stanley, let me bring it back.
I got booted out.
Let's go.
Yeah, I got booted out. But I'm glad Anthony brought that up because tomorrow makes 1 year that Governor Cuomo declared a state of emergency over the virus. John Samuelson, the international president of TWU, has not yet met with anybody he hasn't met with the rank and file regarding this crisis. Okay, what kind of president is that? Okay, it trickles down. So it starts from Samuelson, then Utano, and then the other clowns. Samuelson has no excuse not to meet with any of the rank and file because he lives in Brooklyn. It's not like he lives in Florida. Okay, and even if he didn't live in Florida, he had 365 days to fly out here and speak to the members for 5 minutes. Something he has yet to do. So all these clowns have got to go, from the international to the local, to whoever supports them, because they have done shit for us.
They're not there for us. They're there to line their pockets. They've been put in positions over the years, and they've been looking at what they've been allowed to get away with the workforce, and the members not stepping up and letting them do what they do. They continue it. They just continue on the same. We don't get anything. Like, for instance, when we do a contract bargaining, right, and we get a raise, the union get a raise, but their raise, it states specifically in the Constitution, their raise not supposed to be more than ours. And they steady taking these big raises on us, and we're getting less and less every damn contract. We getting sorry health benefits as well, as long as sorry raises that doesn't even help us, don't even put us over the cost of living at all.
Well, Anthony, just talking about MOW and the influence on the union of this rotten leadership, I want to give you guys a concrete example of the life and death consequences of this leadership still being in power. I don't know if you guys have heard, but Eric Logel and John Chiarello are going out here calling me a rat, right?
Yes.
Saying that I snitched on my coworkers and got people written up. Let me give you the background on this. This goes back to 2017, right? I was a two-line conductor, and I seen everywhere on the elevated structures all of this unsecured debris. It's like track ties, spikes, all sorts of refuse from rail jobs that was not secured to the catwalk, you know, the fiberglass catwalk. So every time the train went by, I would see that all of that equipment rattle and almost fall to the street. So rather than causing any kind of injury to my fellow workers, I got in contact directly with the track gang that is responsible for that area of track. And through Eric Josephson, who's a former retired track worker. And he went out and told those guys, write a G2, bang this in, because we have to take some action on this because members could get killed. Think about the consequences for a train operator. It's dark, at night. You have to walk a structure around the train that went BIE. And there's all sorts of debris all over the roadbed. Is it an exaggeration for me to say that a train operator could be killed in that circumstance? Or a worker, or God knows who else? So then after weeks, after letting that track crew know that they needed to protect themselves and fill out G2s, and we tell them how to do it, I banged it into upper management. Because the danger to our members was just too great. So in any case, Chiarello and Utano, we met at the elections committee for one of the elections things in 2018. And Chiarello told me directly, I could have taken action to take care of those things.
But he didn't.
You didn't ask me nicely. You didn't ask me directly. So because I didn't teach him to not let our members be killed, he refused to lift a finger to help people. And guess what happened? That debris fell from these structures, nearly 2 people, crashed through their windows while they were driving, nearly pedestrians. So think about this rotten, sad sack, false leadership that has the government into the ground the last couple of decades. This is what they think of you, literally. Is that much different than the MTA thinking of you as a member in the past? Walking over your dead body, crying their crocodile tears about how it's a sad day for the transit family? It's a sad day for the transit family because we allow this kind of fucking leadership.
Let me point out that during contract negotiations, we showed up to the MTA board meeting. John, you spoke.
I remember.
Kenny, you spoke. I spoke. They omitted it from I guess their film. They took us 3 out and they just kept them what I call their clique there. Okay, but we were talking about job. We were talking about security. We were talking about safety. You know what they were talking about? Pat Foy telling Tony Utano have a happy Columbus Day. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you seriously? You know, all those clowns, Logel, Patafio,
which
the other guy, Brusconi, all they cared about was that that Pat Foy said happy Columbus Day to Tony Utano. Okay. All right, that's more important than safety, that's more important than wages, that's more important than the transit workers. Really? Okay, all right. So
those guys are frat boys, that's all they are. All they are is top
they was
mediocrity.
I'm gonna call it like it is. They were talking about you were talking about my president. That's what they were saying, right?
Oh yeah, Richard. Yeah,
he almost up there massaging Tony Utano's balls.
My president. Yeah.
It sounds more like they was up there massaging Tony Utano's balls.
Now,
my president. Don't talk about my president.
Go ahead.
I have to go after Logel again because
I was expecting them to come out in cheerleader outfits in a minute and start jumping up and down with pom pom. Don't talk about my president. Talk about my president.
I have to talk about Logel because he says I bitch and moan Really? What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to jump around and high five everybody for the fantastic job that they have done? Really? Come on. Also, I'm chicken shit. I dare him to say that to my face. Let me tell you, I've heard that John, that he's called you out. He attacks you. You're a nice guy, John. I'm not. Okay, I'm not a nice guy. You call me chicken shit, you better say it to my face. Okay, punk. You're the punk. I'm calling you out. I'm at 168, where there's an RTO room there. So I'm inviting you to call me out in front of everybody. Let's see how. Let's see if you would. I doubt you would, because you know what? I'm not a nice guy, and I won't take your shit.
Charlie, Eric is such a chicken shit. He has to come out with a coterie of goons to even come out to RTO location.
I heard he also did it to Chris Pattyfoot. That he threatened him one time, and he talked bad about Raul Lugo. I mean,
yeah.
Really? But I'm sorry, but I don't take shit like that. Okay, I'm not a calm person. I get excited, and he gets in my face, I'm gonna have to defend myself, because you don't invade my space. Okay, you don't threaten me. It's not gonna happen. I refuse to be talked down like a piece of dirt. I refuse to be intimidated, and I'm gonna keep speaking the truth, whether you like it or not. So, Eric, kiss my ass.
Okay.
Now, you may ask, now those of you who are out there, you may ask, why are we on the attack? Well, let me explain. When you show weakness to the MTA, you open the door to be disrespected, disenfranchised, dissolved into economic weakness with no power, and that is unacceptable. This union leadership is proof that evolution can go in reverse. I love to go shopping, but I will not buy this bull. My name is Kenneth Murray. The union leadership is so full of crap that even the toilet is jealous. This union leadership is like two pieces of a loaf of bread. You know, you got one end and you got one end, and it stays there because nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. It is time for a radical political paradigm shift. This union leadership needs to be replaced. And I have a very special message coming up to the quote unquote truth squad, whoever you may be. Staley, what you say?
Well, like I said, these cats, I haven't been keeping up with that issue with that particular page. I'm sure by now, once I say what I'm about to say, I'm probably gonna get banned from it anyway and don't get a chance to see them. But you know what? Listen, people get up there, they say what they say. A lot of this stuff they allowed to get away with it because the members just let them say what they say and let it fly. And they think they could get away with saying whatever they want. And that needs to stop. As long as that mentality is still there, and long as they feel we can say what we want and we get away with it, we're not going to achieve nothing from these people in this union. These people are outdated. I don't care what changes that they make or try to use, or what kind of platform they try to use in the next election. These people are sellouts and they're outdated. They're just like the GOP. And now people raise it, a bunch of spoiled old men with privilege and think they could just do whatever they want. And they're outdated. They have to go. If the members want something in the future and they want some kind of change, this from top to bottom in that hall, these people have to get out of there.
Ferretti, what you say?
Well, I mean, look, I wanted to be on the executive board because I wanted to amplify members' voices on that board. But I have to tell you that we've been at, I think it's 3 meetings now. I mean, I cannot tell you the disgust I have for the people who currently inhabit the executive board. This mediocrity Logel, he preens around like a peacock, having everybody stroke his very shallow ego and tell him how great he is. Recently, John Chiarello and him were having a conversation right next to me, saying, "Oh," John was saying, "anything I can do, Eric, to help you in RTO, because I know you have these disloyal anti-union in RTO." And then he starts talking about right? So I told him, "Clown, I'm right next to you. You don't have the balls to say that to me, do you?" So he shut up real quick and ran away. But in any case, I mean, the people who currently inhabit the executive board are embarrassment for our union. We're not weak, they are. And they vote the right way to keep on that drug of release time. They're addicts. and they're irreformable. This kind of sickness. There's no treatment for this kind of drug addiction. The only treatment is to throw them out on their ass. And the quicker that happens, the better. And members certainly shouldn't be taking any shit from a leadership that killed 150 of our members and didn't lift a finger to fight. Talk about being a failure. If you look up failure in the dictionary, Jesus Christ is a picture.
Yep. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Charlie Munez, what'd you say?
Well, I mean, John said one thing that's it's changed. It's changed. Things are changing because it started with John being elected to the e-board, and they're running scared.
Yes.
That opened their eyes, and they're running scared because they see changes coming. Okay, we're getting in there. I predicted this. We are getting in there, and we're gonna make changes. And even if we don't get there, we're still gonna fight for change, and we're gonna
Yep.
get it. We're gonna get it. There's no more sitting back. There's no more accepting bullshit. Okay, there's no more accepting what they feel that it's okay for us. No, the members are gonna speak up, and I'm gonna make sure that my voice is heard, and I'm gonna spread the word. These guys have gotta go. They gotta go because they've been there too long and they haven't done a damn thing.
Yep. Boy, this union leadership is painful. All right. When they do press conferences, it's painful. They are the human version of period cramps. Okay. They are the human version of period cramps. Okay. I mean, I just can't understand this, you know? How long can we endure the disrespect? You know, the constant violation of the contract. The membership is now waking up to the treachery of this union. We see that the union has sold out the membership. You see, but the members can stop this. You can have a radical paradigm political shift and vote those people out. Okay, we no longer can vote for those who are popular or who we like. The stations department did that, and we got witch-yard, and that's the reason why we're in the case that we are today. You need to join a slate that's going to fight for your job. That's what you need to do. Staley, what you say?
I agree with that because there's no fighting these people. But I'm going to repeat this: you can't fight if you're not smart, if you're not educated, if you know what you can't. You know what you can and can't do. Long as you keep looking at management as your boss,
Yep.
and you're supposed to be on level with management as a union rep, then you're never going to achieve anything. You're allowing management to circumvent the union and go after the members. Even just recently, there was a situation where our own union turned the member over to management and an issue that was it stated specifically that situation should have been handled within the union. And these people are turning people over to management and allow management going after these people. This person is now in a position where, you know, his promotions will be tied up for the longest, just because, you know, bitter people, little crybabies that said, oh, they talk about me on Facebook and they want to cry about it. But what you're not realizing is that stuff wouldn't bother you if you was doing your job. Let your work speak for yourself. Stop crying every time. Oh, someone said this about me. Listen, they've been talking about me since forever, since I started going after and fighting management on issue of disrespecting the cleaners. And I've been doing this for years. And even if management, like they said, well, we'll do this, we'll stay away from it, we'll do this and that with Staley, and we'll do it to the ones we could get away with it. The bottom line, it showed you that if you could that you could do the same yourself to garner your own self-respect and stop asking about or calling the union. It doesn't require a lot of work. You read up on what you need to know to protect yourself while you're out there on the road. And that would solve over 80% of your problems. The other 10% is just the idiots that you'll run into in the course of your career or course of a work day. But other than that, you can control 80% of what your problems or the problems that come to you just by educating yourself on what management can and can't do to you. That's it.
Anthony, I just want to touch on that in terms of safety. Like, there's a lot that members can do right now to change the balance of forces. Like, we can't wait till December to change the balance of forces down here. They have
Right.
war on us in department after department after department. They have killed 150 of our coworkers. When do we declare war on them?
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, Eric Logel has no control of our department. Anything he does have is a disaster for our department. We are the team leaders. We need to be able to have each other's back and to know our rights and to use them and enforce them. We're an elephant being chased around the room by a mouse, okay? The MTA does not have the power they think they have, but we
Right.
have to enforce our will upon them and bend them to our will, or they will bend us to their will, and there will no longer be a union. If you don't think that's possible, look around, man. Look around. You got white supremacists roaming this fucking country. You have a lot of dark stuff happening right now. We have to stand our ground and draw a line in the sand. And that means if you're a conductor and there's overcrowded platforms, pull that cord. If you're a train operator coming into a station and the platform's overcrowded, slow the train down. If you need a comfort, that means you can't breathe under your mask. It doesn't just mean bathroom break. You can't breathe under the mask. You need a comfort. Take comfort, and the comfort is as strong as you say it is. And there's not a goddamn thing anybody's going to do to stop you. If you know how to fight.
Yep.
I just wanted to say this. While people are running around and trying to make whatever claims that as far as the work you do, Freddie, there's something that a lot of people might not know, and I want to say it here because you deserve the credit for it, because this here puts you by far again up ahead of Legel, because remember the issue we have at Flatbush Center, the last stop. I think they changed the name to the brother that passed, Gil Noble. I mean, Gold.
I don't think
Noble.
they have a plaque. Yeah, they have a
Yeah,
plaque.
the last stop on the flat on the 2 line.
In college, yeah.
Yeah, and we had, it was me, John, and a few of us. We got together, and we discussed about when all that stuff was coming down into the station, the cleaning, the brown stuff that was slime that was coming down the wall. Well, it was us that really got the ball rolling and getting them in there to clean that station at that time, because John had came to me. We talked about it. I talked to people at that time that was with Mobile Wash. And they shut down what? I think they did it for what, 1 weekend or 2?
One weekend.
One
Yeah.
weekend. Okay, and they shut it down and they came in and cleaned it out. Ask Eric what he's done since he's been there, other than run around and bring Yatano a cup of coffee or something, playing secretary.
The other thing though too is, where was Eric when we were doing all that? He was a union shop at the time. He was running for office at the time. Where was he? Where was he when we were fighting to stop closings of station booths? Where was he? Where was he when they were cutting service? Where was he when they were cutting jobs? And now what? He's a union officer. We see what kind of role he wants to play, looking the other way while management slaps the shit out of his department and guts jobs.
Didn't recently there was an issue about them cutting platform jobs or something?
Yeah. He agreed to that. Every time he signs off on a work program that says those jobs are temporary, he's saying it's okay. He didn't agree to it. He wasn't the first one that agreed to it, but he was supposed to bring us hope and change, right? He was going to be tough. He was going to kick the boss's ass. But where is it?
Yeah, I mean, he praises Robert Kelly, he praises Wichard, but yet, like I said, Wichard and Kelly, along with management, they pulled money out of the booth, so there's no revenue coming in, and the MTA is using that as a way of cutting wage increases. Also, Wichard signed an agreement to allow private contractors to come in and do cleaning jobs, 5 days before he was taken off. So how do you support somebody like that?
Well, there's a good union man, right? Let him lecture you about being a good union man after you support a prick like this.
Well, When I say no brains, no courage, no heart, what do you think? No, it's not the Wizard of Oz. It's the freaking union's leadership.
All
You
right,
know,
guys, in the morning, so I gotta let you go.
All right,
okay,
John.
could you hang out for one more second, sir?
Sure.
I'm going to do something that I haven't done because normally I try to be nice and calm, but I want to talk to those over at that page, United Truth Squad.
Union Squad.
Say what
Union
now?
Squad. Union Squad.
Union Truth Squad? Okay, whatever their names are, because I don't care. But the bottom line is this: you have attacked the revolutionaries. You now have our attention. Okay? You spineless pieces of cow manure. We do not operate by transit rules and regulations, and you better understand that. Okay? The Union Truth Squad has attacked Progressive Action. You have attacked Local 100 Fight Back. You have attacked Evangeline Byers. You have attacked Lee Ireland. Well, enough is enough, and pushback has come. And then you have the audacity to attack Mr. Charlie Munez. Okay? United Truth Squad, you have our attention now. Okay? You have our attention now. You want to play games? Let the games begin.
Kenny, it's good that they have our attention because they have like 11 followers and every one of them hates them. So it's really kind of, you know. But I mean, I guess they ran out of rope with Rapid Transit Review. You know, like kicking people out of their little fanboy group. So now they came up with another hack job. You know, maybe they're getting Pete Donahue in on the writing. You know, because I mean, if you're gonna have a complete hack operation, Pete Donahue really has to be part of it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, so. John, I know you got to leave. Final word to the members. Speak, sir.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know it's very likely that members are depressed and demoralized about the state of the union, but you have to remember that you are the union, and that the solidarity that we have for each other and the way we have each other's backs every day is a model for the kind of union that we could be. If we just got the boot off our necks from boss lovers and from people who are enforcing our weakness and selling us self-hatred. That's what they're selling you. Every time they say that this is the best we can do, they're telling you to hate yourself. And that's not the action of a good union person, to hate themselves, to internalize self-hatred. We are so much better than the weakness and the mediocrity that currently leads us. And that's why all of these people have stepped off the bench to be involved and to take action. And we're calling on you to see yourself as the leadership and to stop accepting the idea that leadership is those who are elected. They are temporary. They'll be gone, and we will live with the consequences of their disastrous leadership and their cowardice. Decades. We can't let that happen.
Very well put, sir. Mr. Munez, speak to the members of this union.
Well, what can I say? I said it all. We're strong guys. We're strong, independent. We're not controlled like the current administration is controlled. It's like being in a robotic state. Anything their leader says, they do. There's no talk back. There's no suggestions. It's just let's do what Cuomo says and we'll do it. Whatever Utano agrees to, everybody has to agree to it. No, that's not the way it works. That's not the way a union works. The union is supposed to take care of their workers, of the members, excuse me. And that's something that they haven't been doing. And by the way, one more thing. Eric, once again, kiss my fucking ass.
Mr. Staley, final word to the members.
A final word to the members: participate, don't sit back. You want change, you got to go after that change. You got to make that change, not talk about it, but go after it. You got an election coming up, participate, make changes, and remember, this is about your future.